Hello dear students, I welcome you for this next lecture of the subject animal ecology. Today we are going to start with the final chapter, that is chapter number 4, community. Topic of today's discussion will be characteristics of community. So I, Amol Handore, working as assistant professor at Department of Zoology, welcome you for this next lecture. So in today's lecture, we are going to cover the characteristics of community. So before going into the today's lecture, let's take a brief recap of previous lecture. So in previous lecture, we have studied beneficial association between organisms and antagonistic association between organisms. So the study objective for today's lecture will be introduction to community and characteristics of community like species richness, species diversity and species dominance. So let's get introduced with the concept community. So before that we have already studied what is meant by population, and population typically do not live in isolation from other species. So if we take an example, in a forest we always have many species living together. So many species share their habitat. So they interact, they share their habitat, and this will play a major role in regulating the population growth and abundance of that particular population. So all population occupying same habitat form the community. So population inhabiting a specific area at a particular time can be called as a community. And number of species which are present in that particular population, which are present in the same habitat and have their number, that is relative abundance, is known as species diversity. So let's understand more about the community, different definitions of the community. So community, which is technically called as biota or biotic community, is nothing but the local association of several population of different species. Okay, so in a community we have two populations, say population A and population B, overlapping with each other, right? So there will be members of the population A and members of the population B. Krebs in 1972 described community as assemblage of populations of living organisms in a prescribed area or habitat. Okay, so many populations in a particular habitat together forms community. Clark in 1954 described community as group of mutually adjusted plants and animals inhabiting in particular natural area, right? So since they are dependent on each other, like plants, animals are, some herbivores are feeding onto the plants, so there is an association, so they are mutually adjusted group of plants and animals. Now there is another terminology which was earlier used for community, that is called as biosynods. This is actually a short form of the word biosynosis, which was coined by scientist Mobius in the year 1880 for the terminology community. So earlier, instead of community, there was a word that is biosynods. Now when the territorial ranges of several species overlap, population of these different species may coexist within even limited area. So as I have given you one example, suppose we have a population A and population B. Obviously they cannot live isolated in any geographical area, so there is an overlap of this population. For example, in a forest we have deers, we have lion, we have tiger, all living together. So there are different population of different species that give rise to what is called as community. So organism in such an area represent what is called as community. So community always contains plants as well as animals, because both are responsible or both are dependent on each other and for the survival of that particular community. Okay, so in a community we will have plants as well as animals. Let's move on. We'll understand more about community. So community ecology, this word, it deals with group of different kinds of population in a area. So now you are most well aware what is meant by community, that many population living in particular area. So that is the concept of community ecology. Now in the previous chapter you have already studied community or other species interactions. So there could be mutualism, there could be parasitism, different type of interaction exist between different species. But when you study a community as such, you are dealing with the interaction between different group of organisms. So even though each and every species has own distinctive interaction with others in the community, still ecology study every community as a complete unit. So this community have different qualities. What are these qualities of community? Co-occurrence, because plants as well as animals and many species are living together, that is called as co-occurrence. Recurrence of group of same species, because sometimes one species may be overcome by another species population. Homeostasis or self-regulation, that means every population is capable of maintaining its population size and other parameters. Now we come to what are the basic types of communities. So Kende and Smith have divided the biotic communities into two types. So these two types are, the first one is called as major or autotrophic communities. So by now we understood what is meant by autotrophs. So autotrophs are the organism which can prepare their own food. So this includes all those organisms which make use of the solar energy and make their own food. So they together form the more or less complete and self-sustaining units with requirement of the solar energy, because they are the photosynthetic organism, so they require the solar energy. And the second group or the second type of community is called as minor or heterotrophic communities. So by now we understood the meaning of word heterotrophs, which are dependent on the autotrophs. So these are the secondary group of organisms and which are completely dependent onto the autotrophs. As far as energy flow is considered, because energy always flow from sun to the autotrophs and from autotrophs to the heterotrophs like herbivores, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and so on. So they are dependent on the major communities for their energy requirements, because there is continuous flow of energy. However, the ultimate source of energy is the sun, and from them the autotrophs make use of this energy to make their own food, and heterotrophs are dependent on the autotrophs, that is plants. For example, any forest forms major community, whereas the community existing on any microhabitat in that particular large community is called as minor community. So they form the smaller communities in the forest ecosystem. Now we come to the community structure. So the community comprises of producers, consumers. These consumers can be further of primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and another group called as decomposers or saprophytes. So in previous chapter we have already studied what are producers. So these are nothing but the plants which make use of the solar energy to convert, to do the process of photosynthesis in the presence of chlorophyll pigment. Now these plants are eaten by the consumers. So the primary consumers are the herbivorous animals like deers and other species which feed onto the plants. Then we have secondary consumers which feed onto the primary consumer. We have tertiary consumer which feed onto the secondary consumers. And finally, there could be quaternary consumer also sometimes. And all these organisms, sometime or some time they are going to die. Now at that time they are decomposed by the decomposers, which are also called as saprophytes. So this includes microorganisms like bacteria and fungi. Okay, now we come to the characteristics of community. So in this chapter we are going to deal with what is meant by species richness, species diversity, species dominance, species abundance, stratification, ecotone and age effect. So these are the 6 important characteristics of any community. Today we are going to deal with the first 3. So let's start with the first characteristics of community, that is called as species richness. So as the name suggests, richness means how many species are present in particular community, right? So it represents number of different species in particular community, landscape or region. So in simple words we can say we are just counting number of species in particular community. That means how many species are present in a particular community is called as species richness. So we'll be understand this by some examples in next slide. So here we are just counting number of species, so it does not take into consideration abundance of the species or relative abundance or distribution. Now what is meant by abundance? That within, suppose there are 5 species. Species 1 has 4 individual, species 2 has 3 individual, species 3 has say 6 individual, species D has 2 and species E has 4 individual. So what is the species richness of this community? So species richness means number of species. So we are just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this typical aquatic community has species richness, that is number of species is 5. Okay. So species richness means number of species in a community. But here we are not going to consider how many members of species A are there, species B has 3 members, species C has 5 or 6 members. We are not going to count number of member in particular species. So species richness just give the number of species in the community, but it does not take into consideration how many members or how many individuals are present in that particular species. So we can define species richness as number of species distributed in community of various ecosystems. And species richness is not affected rather by number of individual in that particular species as well as heterogeneity of the sample. So what is sampling? You must have studied what is meant by sampling. Suppose there are 2 forests and from those 2 forests I am suppose I am calculating the species diversity in 2 different forest ecosystem. Then I will collect few individuals of that particular species. So and then I will calculate how many species of organisms are there, right? So if I get these individual from different environment, right? If there are different environment, obviously the species richness will be higher because we are getting the individual from different environments, say from desert, from forest ecosystem, say in that also dry deciduous forest or evergreen forest. So different environment mean more the chances of getting number of species is more. But if we are collecting the individual from the same environment, say for example only desert, then obviously the species richness will be lower. Okay. So you have understood what is meant by species species richness, that means nothing but how many species are present in community. So here in this example there are 5 species. We take another example. Suppose this is community 1 and this is community 2. What is the species richness of community 1? So there are elephant, this is species 1. There is lion, so species 2. There is giraffe, so 3 species. Fourth species is say hippo. Fifth species is deer, and sixth species is say wolf. Okay, so how many species are there? 6. So species richness is 6. In community 2 also, though number of individuals are different, but if you count elephant 1, lion 2, giraffe 3, hippo 4, deer is 5th, and wolf is 6th. So in community 2 also, species richness, that means number of species, is 6. We take another example. Suppose we have 2 plots of agricultural land A and B. In plot A, it has 24 species of animals, and in plot B has 84 species of animals. Then we can say that species, what will be the species richness of plot A? It will be 24. And what will be the species richness of plot B? It will be 84. So we can say that plot B, which is 84, has higher species richness compared to the plot A, right? Also, we have seen that species richness does not take into account distribution of species within area. Species richness of the resulting set can be expected to be higher than its evenness. So evenness means how the individuals are present in particular population. So in this above example, majority of individuals in plot A. Now we move on to the, so we can summarize this species richness. So what is species richness? Is nothing but number of species in a community. This is the very simplest measure. We are just counting number of species in a community. We are not counting number of individual in each species. So it can count all species only in few simple ecosystems. It does not consider number of individuals. We are not counting how many individuals of that particular species, right? So it just counting gives us the count of number of species, but it does not give the count of individuals. Now species richness will be affected by geographical area of different communities, because in different geographical area the species richness will be different. It also maintains the stability in ecosystem, and it is a major contributor towards the biodiversity. So more richness means the biodiversity is more. Large number of species occurring naturally in environment contribute to the species heritage on the earth. That means more is the species richness, that means more number of species are present in that particular environment. Now this species richness is calculated by different index. So one of the index is called as Margalef richness index, which is a calculated index to find this index. Now this is denoted by the letter capital S, and it is the simplest measure of biodiversity. Why biodiversity? Because we are counting the number of species. So it is the count of number of different species in a given area or a community. So we can calculate this Margalef richness index using a formula which is nothing but Margalef richness index of biodiversity is equal to S minus 1 log of N. Here S means total number of species, N means total number of individuals in the sample. Okay, so by just putting these values, total number of species and total number of individual, we can calculate this index which is called as Margalef richness index of diversity. Okay, after completing species richness, we come to the second characteristics of a community, that is called as species dominance. So what do you understand by the word dominance? That some species is dominating to the other species. Okay, that means that species is present in large number compared to the other species. So a biotic community may have different type of organism or growth forms such as trees. It can have shrubs, herbs, mosses and other animals also. Now out of these different species, which species is dominating decides the species dominance. So dominant species are those species which are highly successful. What is mean by highly successful? They are ecologically successful, so that's why they are present in the large number, right? And the other species are in low number. Okay, so dominating species will increase in the number and the other species will decrease in the number. So why does species dominance takes place? So dominance is in a community is result between co-action of two or more species. So always there is a competition takes place. Suppose in a community there are species A, B, C and D are present. So always suppose all these four species are feeding onto the grasses, then they will compete with each other and the more dominating species will increase in the number because it will only get the food and other three species are not getting the grasses. So there is a co-action that takes place between two or more species and one of the species is dominant. So let's take one example for a forest community in which pine trees, if they are dominant, then it is called as pine forest. So what do you mean by that? That in that particular forest there is large number of pine trees. No other species of trees is present, but pine trees are large in number. Second example, grassland ecosystem. So what will be the dominating species in grassland? Obviously the grass species. So the grass species will dominate over the other herbs. We have already studied different types of communities like desert community, marine community, mangrove ecosystem. So all these are the different types of ecosystem and different species will dominate. So in a community, we have understood there are different species are present, but all species are not equally dominant, right? So not all organisms in a community are dominant, but few species are the dominant species because they exert major control on the other species in terms of number, size or their activities. So this phenomena where various species within community are dominated by one or two species is called as species dominance. Now in a terrestrial community, plants are more dominant than the animals because plants have more chances of growing than the animals. In aquatic community, animals are more dominant than the plants, right? Because you have more number of the animal species in the aquatic ecosystem. So whoever is large in number, then that species is called as dominant species. So this is all about the species dominance. Now we come to the third characteristics, that is species diversity. So the word diversity means different variety. So within particular group we can have different diversity. So first we understood according to the biological species concept, what is species is called as a basic unit of classification. So we classify any organism starting from the kingdom, division or other phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. So species is the basic unit of classification. We can classify species as group of similar organism that can interbreed with one another and produce viable offspring, and they share common lineage or the ancestry. Okay, so we understood the meaning of this definition, that species means many group of similar organism which can breed with themselves. Okay, so those organisms which can breed and produce offspring are called as of the same species. Now we understood what is species diversity. Diversity means variety. So it is the biodiversity or variety and abundance of different type of individual of species in a given area. Now this includes all the species on earth ranging from plants, bacteria, viruses, fungi, algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperm, angiosperm, and all the species of animal from the lower invertebrates to the vertebrates up to the mammals. So all these group of organisms, they form the species diversity. So suppose I give you one example. There is a forest A and there is another forest B. In forest A, there are say 100 species of organisms, and in forest B, there are 500 species of organisms. Then which forest is more diversity is there? Obviously forest B, because in forest B we have 500 species of plants as well as animals. Now on the earth there are certain regions which support more diversity, because such regions are rich in nutrients, they have balanced climatic conditions, moderate temperature, proper light, adequate rainfall, show high degree of diversity, because all the conditions are suitable for the survival of the organisms. So in such region of the earth we will have more species diversity. So tropical areas of the earth, they have more species diversity because they have all these conditions which are required or suitable for plant and animal communities than desert and polar areas. Now, so tropical areas have more species diversity and desert and polar areas have less species diversity. For example, tropical forest has high species diversity compared to the timber plantation. So in timber plantation we have only one species. In tropical forest we have different species of the plant. Or we can take another example. Tropical forest has more species compared to the polar areas. In polar areas there will be the snowfall. So very few species which can grow in the snowfall can survive. So the regions that are rich in species diversity are called as hotspots of the biodiversity. So in this picture we can see earth is divided into different zones. So you have at the end polar region, we have Antarctic region and Arctic region. So North Pole has Arctic and South Pole is Antarctic, and here the species diversity is very less. In the temperate zone they are also near to the pole, so here also the species diversity is less. On the contrary, these areas which are called as tropical regions near to the tropic or line of equator, the species diversity is more in the tropical zone because the environmental conditions are suitable for different plant and animal species. So we can say species diversity in a nutshell tells us how diverse a typical community is. So we can use species diversity as a very useful parameter for comparing any two communities to see influence of any disturbance. So we are going to study what is meant by succession and stability in the community in next lecture. By using species diversity, we can get the species diversity index. So this in the next slide we'll understand what is meant by species diversity index. So we use different types of indices. From that, this is one example, that is Shannon diversity index, which is represented by the capital letter H. So this is given by the formula H is equal to negative logarithm to summation of pi ln pi. So H means the Shannon index which we are calculating. For that we require PI, that means proportion of individual found in the ith species. So whichever species we are going to take. Ln means the natural logarithm and S means the number of species in the communities. So by putting the values we will get the Shannon diversity index. So this is all about the species diversity. So let's quickly summarize what we have studied today. So we have understood the different, what is mean by the community. We have seen the definition of the community, and then we have seen the different characteristics of the community. So we have divided the community into two types: major or autotrophic community and minor or heterotrophic communities. Heterotrophic or major, the minor communities are dependent on the major or autotrophic communities for the energy, food and energy. Community structure is comprises of producers, consumers, that is primary, secondary, tertiary, and finally decomposers, or which are also called saprophytes. Then 6 characteristics of community are there, which today we have studied: species richness, diversity, and species dominance. So species richness simply means number of species in a particular community. So we have understood that in this example there are 5 species, so species richness is 5. Similarly, we have understood that the species richness is independent of number of individual of particular species. So suppose for first species the individuals are more, but we do not take into consideration number of individuals of each species, but we just count how many number of species are there. So both in community 1 and 2 the species richness is same, that is 6. We have already discussed another example of, so simply the species richness means number of species in the community. Then we understood species richness index, how to calculate that, Margalef richness index. Then we understood species dominance. So dominance means one of the species will dominate other species, that is called as dominant. So on the land we have plant communities dominant, on the aquatic ecosystem animal communities are dominating. In grassland ecosystem grasses are the dominating species, whereas in forest community trees are the dominating species. Then we understood species diversity. So diversity of the different species ranging from bacteria to the mammals is called as species diversity. As species diversity is variable in different ecosystem or communities, the species diversity is more in the tropical areas than the polar or temperate areas. So species diversity is very useful parameter for comparison of any two communities to understand the effect of succession and stable community. And then finally we understood the diversity index. One of the diversity index is called as Shannon diversity index. Thank you. So thank you for your patience hearing. In next lecture we will study the next remaining characteristics of the community. Those are stratification, abundance, and ecotone and age effect.